Hi, everybody. It's Danny Bader. And I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you about a principle that I found to be very powerful. It's called developing vision. When folks like myself, that are speakers or authors or coaches or any of that, and even all of us in our lives when we're trying to help other people move on to better places, often talk about a principle that I call developing vision. And that's the ability for us to imagine what needs to be real. Now, there's a lot of different ways that you can do this. The word clarity shows up as well, goal setting. It's all bundled in my mind in the same thing. A lot of ways to do it. One way that I learned that I want to offer to you, I learned at my coaching school, the Hudson Institute out in Santa Barbara, California, when I went there in 2005, 6 in that area. And just the other day, just yesterday, 2 days ago, I guess, you can see it on my Facebook page. A guy that I met, a great guy that I met that works for Marriott out on the West Coast, had posted something about a vision that he did probably last November, so go back 14 months or so. And he said, Tim, he'd ask me some questions and say, hey, help me understand again how to do this. I know I did it that one time. So your developing vision is an exercise. And the best way that I found to do it, through the Hudson Institute, and I've been doing it now for 11 or 12 years, is just grab a piece of paper. You can do it on your computer if you want, but sit there and think to yourself, what are the main areas of my life right now that I need to focus on? It's probably your family and your relationships. It's probably your career. For many of us, it's our health. For many of us, it's our finances, and then maybe it's some fun, some travel, some creativity. Certainly spirituality and faith show up. So of those 8 or 9 main areas in all of our lives, there's probably about 5, 4 that you really want to focus a lot more on this year. So write those all down on a page: finances, spirituality, relationships, family. And then what you can do is, sometimes I'll say score them. It's not really score, but just on a scale of 1 to 5, which ones really need some focus. So that would be a 2 or 3. If it's a 5, that means it's in good shape. And then what I want you to do is, and it's going to take you some time, and get out of all the judgment. Don't worry, am I doing this right? This is your exercise. There's no specific way to do it. There are some loose structure to it. So get those areas of your life. And then what I want you to do is write a letter back to yourself from December 31st of 2019. So the question, Tim, this is usually the main one that I ask, and I know I asked all of you out in Northern California last year. If I see you December 31st of 2019, so 12 months from now, and I haven't seen you since we've been together, and I say, hey, how's life? How was your year? And you go, you know what, Danny, it's really, really good. I had a great year. And I say, why? What happened? How would you answer that? You would answer to me in past tense, and you would say, well, here's what happened with my relationships, and here's what happened with my career. Here's what I did with my finances. So you would tell the story of your year in past tense in some detail, which is really good because we as people are moved by stories. And I'll talk to you about why you want it and write it in past tense as well. So you get down, you sit, you start to write that letter. It's just a draft. I'm just finishing mine up now for the year. It's probably going to take, if you do a good job, good is judgment. But if you do a job that works for you, it's probably going to take you an hour to 3 hours. So write that back to yourself. So an area might be like this. Hey, in January, I sat down, because you're writing past tense, and I thought about all my relationships. And I realized that my relationship with my brother had been strained. And finally, I said, you know what, damn it, I'm not going to have any more blame. It doesn't matter what anybody did. I love my brother, and I wanted to have a relationship with him. So at the end of the January, I contacted him, and I said, hey, let's get together. I love you. I want to talk about it. We did. It was a tough conversation, but it was one that we had to have and certainly move the relationship forward. Over the next couple of months, everything started to kind of break down. We shared our thoughts. We came from our hearts. And probably by the end of the summer, we were really in a good place. We did a few runs together. And I got to tell you, as I sit here now, I'm really, really happy that my brother and I have invested in and gotten back to a strong relationship and a very supportive relationship. So that would be the paragraph on that. You see, so you can think now that's going to be 2, 3, 4 pages. I had a guy that works for Ritz-Carlton in Europe, and he did a beautiful one. It's about 7 or 8 pages. into great detail. So again, don't worry about the length, but just go ahead and make sure that you have that clear detail. Um, in terms of your health, you may say, you know what, I realized that this year was going to be a breakthrough year in health for me. And in January and February, I joined the gym and I started to go, and I started slow this time. And I put some of my diet in there. I started to eat a lot more, less carbohydrates, lean meats, salads, fruits. And I was really doing a good job, going to the gym on average 3 times a month, 4 times a month. When I missed and when I screwed up, I was really sure to not beat myself up and say, hey, you just got off track a little bit. Let's get back on track. You know, I committed to running a 5K in May down at the beach, and I did that. And, you know, I wasn't real fast, but I did it, and it was great. And then as the summer progressed, and, you know, by August, I looked back and I had lost 20 pounds since December. You know, and here I sit now with a whole lifestyle change. I lost 30 pounds for the year, got much more back into running, and I'm really, really happy and looking forward to 2020. So see, you're just going back and you're predicting your year as if it already happened. Give yourself some details, give yourself some timelines so that you're accountable, right? Not that I just lost weight. I lost this much weight by this month. I did these runs. Tell me the process. Tell yourself the process of how you did it. Now, why you want to write it in past tense, what I believe is that I believe our brain loves completion. And if that's why most of us love our to-do list and we mark something off, right? How many of you have had something on your to-do list? You don't, or you do something rather, it's not on your to-do list, and you go write it down just so you can mark it off. Because you get that release of your neurotransmitters and your dopamine, you're like, good. So what I found is most people don't have a gap between where they are right now and December 31st of 2019. Once you create that gap and you get clear on it, then what's going to happen is your brain is always pushing to say, okay, what do I need to do here? So here's the missing piece, action. You've seen all the New Year stuff on Facebook and all, and this is why I waited a few days as well. You do have to get clear on your vision. It comes first. It all begins with vision. But then, damn it, we have to get off our ass and take action. And I know over the years, that's where I've fallen short. And in my work, when people are really true with themselves, that's where they've fallen short. So work this letter through. I wrote about it in Back from Heaven's Front Porch. If you read that book, this principle is developing vision is one that saved my life. I wrote about it in Abraham's Diner. It's about 100 and some pages. It's a real quick 2-hour read. It's about Patrick, who is a stressed out executive, lost his way a little bit and meets this guy, Abraham, and kind of gets back on track. And then it's certainly a theme in I Met Jesus for a Miller Lite, where Michael is playing in the NFL, and then that dream comes to an end. So it's a real powerful vision. I certainly didn't invent this or create it. There's no new ideas. I learned it at the Hudson Institute. I'm very, very thankful for it. And when I sit and when I get clear on what I want to produce for myself, personally and professionally over the year, with my family and with my business and with my writing, and I write it somewhere that I know I'm going to see it at least once or twice a week, I read it in detail and in past tense, it gives you two really, really valuable forces that we all need in life. It gives you inspiration, which is an energy that causes us to do something, and it gives us focus, which is the concentration of attention or energy, which then converts to the action. So Tim, I hope this has helped you. I knew I was going to do this video, but you kind of gave me a little proverbial kick in the butt by your post on Facebook. And I certainly wish all of you a healthy, number one, a happy and fulfilling and a fun new year. So you've got my email, you've got my Facebook. If you have any questions, go ahead and get in touch. And for those of you that have experienced this vision writing, go ahead on Facebook and maybe just post a quick synopsis of your success with it and maybe your struggles. That'll help somebody else. So wish you all the best. Have a wonderful 2019.